The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 668. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have an amazing lady on the show today. She's a Filipino American media pioneer, and I'm really excited to have her on and share her story with us today on self-confidence. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Jannelle So. Jannelle, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to the listeners.
Hi, Sheena. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. I've read so much about you, and congratulations on starting this. This is really helpful for people who just want to get inspiration, and I hope that what I share today is something that some of you guys out there can make use of. So I am a host producer. I moved here in 2003 to the US, and so I was hired by a local channel to start a Filipino show. And we say media pioneer because that was the first and only locally produced daily talk show for Filipinos in the US. And I ran it for about 8.5 years before I left to take a break to start a family. And now I have my own show that airs on TFC, Lifestyle Network, and on the same local channel, which was LA18 here in Southern California.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And Jannelle, what's your favorite self-confidence quote?
My favorite self-confidence quote is something about, I don't really know who this is from. I think it's by Nicki Minaj. It's true confidence has no reason for jealousy and envy. When you know you are great, you have no reason to hate. Or when you're feeling great, you have no reason to hate.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that great quote. And in your own words, how do you define self-confidence?
To me, self-confidence is when you are able to recognize your skills and abilities and shortcomings and allowing yourself to be proud of your abilities, but at the same time forgiving yourself, that knowing that you have shortcomings. And then you get to this point, you take the time to periodically examine your journey in life and giving yourself a pat on the back for not being where you used to be, even if you have not reached where you want to be. So just really being comfortable with yourself and where you are in life.
Thanks for sharing that great definition. I love how you mentioned, with confidence, it's always about the good and the bad, right? I feel like as women, especially Asian women, we're so hard on our shortcomings, right? We tend to be a little bit more cruel to ourselves, not realizing we just need to be a little bit more kinder, right? We're all human, we're not perfect, and we have flaws. And sometimes our flaws can be our greatest strength. So I really love that definition that you mentioned. And Jannelle, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
Working in the entertainment industry, I experienced this because I started in the Philippines. People tend to pit you against each other because it's such a cutthroat business. So you're always kind of measuring your worth by the projects that you get. And, it's always said that you're only as good as your last project or you're only as good as your last show. So it breeds insecurity. I must admit that I fell into the pitfalls of being, insecure. I hinged my self-worth on what I did for a career and on what I accomplished. And when you do that, you tend to compare yourself to others. And when I compared myself to people that accomplished more than me in my mind, or that were doing what I thought I should be doing or what I wanted to be doing, it made me feel less of a person. It made me doubt myself and question my abilities. But then at the same time, on the other spectrum, when I compared myself to people that were doing less in my mind or doing what I've already done, it made me gloat, which is also not a good thing. So it was just a seesaw between those two things before I discovered my inner self-confidence.
Thanks for sharing that. I think, we all are guilty of measuring our self-worth or our success based on comparing ourselves to others, counting how many things we own or the status. And I mean, it's normal, right? But we have to realize sometimes we just have to kind of step away from all that and really go deep and really realize who are we truly without those items, right? Or without the status or without the accomplishments. And what was that point in your life when you realized, you were more than enough to be who you are today and have that confidence? What was that aha moment?
When I became a mom, I've always wanted to be a mom. And before I became a mom, it took me a while to find, who God wanted for me to be with as a partner in life and the father of my children. And so before that, I had nothing else. And you're right, like I based everything on material things. So, the accumulation of wealth, as the world defines wealth, which is, material things, branded bags, branded shoes, this and that. When I became a mother, and I would like to borrow that phrase that you used, I was more than enough to this one person, this one life, who depended on me for nourishment, for everything. And it just slowly, all my definition of success and happiness and joy just simply faded away and gave me the confidence that I am more than enough. I'm more than enough for this child. I'm more than enough for the community that I operate in. And what I give is more than enough.
Thanks for sharing that. And I think that's great, right? I mean, we always feel like we're never enough when we realize, we are more than enough, right? We have more than what it takes to go out there and do something that we love or be the person that we want to be authentically. And, just sometimes things happen in our life that will give us perspective. Like for you, you became a mother and you realize, you are more than enough to be who you want to be. And, you never know that one person can change your life and your perspective in such a different way, right? And because of that realization, what's your life been like now?
It's all settled down. No more rat race, no more corporate ladder, no more competition, no more like defining myself by comparing myself to others. I feel whole and complete, and I feel comfortable. Like, I think also becoming a mother, it made me realize that I'm not perfect and I can never be. What I can be is do the best that I can with the gifts that I have. So I'm good at this, but I'm not good at that. And being okay with that, and this person is better than me at this because she's doing that, and being happy for that other person's accomplishment. And I think it's also because I'm happy with what I have in life. And I realize I now can face the world with a confidence that if I put my heart on something, I can work to achieve it by myself without having to compare to other people.
Thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
First of all, pause right now and give yourself a pat in the back. You are enough. You have come a long way and you are where you need to be at this moment in your life. Also, sometimes, Sheena, we get so impatient. We have dreams for ourselves and plans. And if it's not turning out the way we want it to be in our timing, we think, that crushes our self-confidence because that makes us doubt ourselves, right? I think that we're all given with different gifts, and whatever we aspire to do in life, it's all up to us to make it come to fruition. And it doesn't have to be now or 5 years from now. It's just, we can't be impatient, I guess is what I'm saying. And for my advice, I would say never compare your insides to other people's outsides, or basically never compare yourself to others at all, period.
Thanks for sharing that great advice. And Jannelle, if our listeners wanted to get to know a little bit more about you and what you do or check out your shows, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Yes, I have a website, sojannelle.com. Some of the segments on our program, So Jannelle, we post it on YouTube, so youtube.com/sojannelle. And we are also on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
Thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Jannelle, you can also head on over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for Jannelle's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else that we talked about. And I really just want to thank Jannelle today for taking the time to share her story and tips with us on self-confidence. So thank you so much, Jannelle.
Thank you, Sheena. If I may add, I'm sorry. I just wanted to, when I mentioned, never compare your insides to other people's outsides, it's also because of the social media age. Like, everyone's posting things about themselves that are perfect picture, perfect life, perfect whatever. We don't know what happens behind the camera. So, just never compare, because we know what's happening in our own lives. And when we compare our insides of what we know our lives are to other people's outsides, which are like edited photos and edited posts, like it's not reality, basically. And so, yeah, just as a parting word.
Not a problem. I totally agree. I mean, I know sometimes the world of social media can be so crazy. You know, we look at those perfect curated pictures, not realizing like, you know, just like you mentioned, just because it looks perfect on a picture, you never know what happens, right? So there's always a story behind everything and we don't know sometimes, right? And we just have to realize like, you look at it and be like, okay, I'm good and kind of move on. So I really love that tip that you mentioned. And, you know, again, thanks for being on the show and sharing your story. And for our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of The Tao of Self-Confidence. Get your free audiobook by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.